Okay, so I'm going to start this video by showing you this picture, and I'm going to describe it as the staging area, just so you can get your bearings. As you can see, the bridge is on the right, there's ambulances waiting on the side of the road. Further down the road, so straight ahead of you from if you're looking in this direction, is the club. The club itself is not too far away, but it's just on the right hand side, and as I've shown on the previous picture, the police station is just to the left. So based on this picture, the staging area is just where this road splits off into two, just on the left hand side, just below the police station. And the reason why I call it a staging area is because, just like Westminster, whereby the ambulances weren't going to the victims but the victims were going to the ambulance, they did likewise in this particular event. Now, given the distance between where the nightclub is and where the staging area is, it's quite a long distance to be taking people on a stretcher, but look at this piece of footage.
Turkey's state-run news agency says that there has been an armed attack at an Istanbul nightclub. Several people are injured. You're looking at these pictures here, images broadcast on local news channels in Turkey, now showing ambulances, police vehicles responding to this incident. Now, the images also show that there are some wounded that are being loaded into ambulances and carried to a hospital. CNN Turk foreign editor telling CNN this is a high-end nightclub in a busy part of the town. Our own CNN's Ian Lee, he is on our way to the scene. We're, of course, going to bring you more as we learn more about this armed incident.
So did you spot what was wrong with this footage? I'm showing you this picture because of the bridge. The bridge is obviously the big landmark in all of this. The bridge is on the right hand side, yet the footage you've just watched, and I'll play it again now whilst I'm talking, it's showing ambulance staff going in the wrong direction. You can see the bridge there on the right hand side, yet the stretchers and everything that's going on, they're all walking in the wrong direction. Now, we've seen this before with the Orlando shooting, which is why we're linking this one to that, because it's got the common elements to it. And you're going to be saying to yourself, well, what's this about? Why are they going in the wrong direction? They can't not know where they are. But the whole point is I'm calling it a staging area because this is for the cameras. This is so that you see activity, because in reality they'd be going the other way. The cameras won't get to see anything because the police have blocked off the area. So you've got to give something to the cameras, and that's why this is always classed as a drill or a hoax, because they set this up on purpose. Now, I mentioned before in previous videos the idea that when it comes to the victims or the witnesses, they're very photogenic, especially when it comes to putting them in the newspapers. So here's a picture of the police officer that was shot, very photogenic picture, and likewise these other victims here too. And I know it might be something or nothing, but it's something that I've just picked up on from looking at these things back to back. Now, this next piece of footage I've had to slow down because it's a very quick clip from the news agency that I spotted it on, and this is a woman in a red dress with glittery sleeves, and you'll see her twice in two different pieces of footage, but look at the difference between the two. So in the first clip we've got her seemingly bleeding from the leg and being taken away in a chair, yet in this next piece of footage she's being escorted into the hospital, walking seemingly fine. I mean, she looks no different from anybody who's had a night out in a nightclub where they take their shoes off, certainly not someone who's been involved in a shooting. And not only that, I'll look at this footage again, but instead look at the reactions of the people around. They're almost guarding the hospital. Now, why is that? Now, you've seen my videos to do with crisis actors and people playing the role of victims, but what if you get somebody who does both? And this is what Jacob Rack is. He's sort of the linchpin to it all.
What happened over there?
I got shot in the fucking leg, man. These crazy people came in shooting everything. I don't know. I saw one person. They're shooting and hiding, man, so I will fuck that dude up if I see him.
Big gun or
Bring the fucking AK-47. Let's catch that fucker. I'll fuck him up.
So where do you start with this? I mean, again, you've got it's RTTV's footage. I've described the area as a staging area because ultimately that's what they're doing. They're bringing the victims to the ambulances so the cameras get a good shot. Then, of course, a particular guy like this, he's coming along and he's giving away the story as to what has happened. And because he's American, he's giving it in English. And the whole point is so that it gets across to the people around the world, and that's what part he plays. but it's for that very reason as to why it gives himself away. The fact is that he's so focused on making sure the world knows what's happened in that nightclub that he forgets to act injured. He forgets to act like somebody who's been involved in a serious incident, and because of that, that's what gives him away, let alone the lack of blood, let alone that he's got a tinsel being used as a bandage, which is just unbelievable within itself. But this is why people watch this video, and you can only laugh at it because it is just ridiculous. And it's not only that as well, it's the story he gives. He says that they came in attacking, but then only describes one. So his story is already inconsistent the moment he opens his mouth. And he's not the only one who described more than one person, but in the end they decided it was just one person. So again, you've got that distorting of the story as per my last video. And if that wasn't ridiculous enough, we then got this footage, so I'll comment after.
All I can say is it's a massive tragedy. This is very unfortunate. I don't want to talk about what happened inside the club, but I want to say, this is a very good country, and it's so unfortunate that this is happening to you guys, and I really feel for everybody here. For me, I wake up in the United States, I eat breakfast. You guys wake up and have to think of this. It's so sad, and I really wish everybody here the best. I've only met very good people. No, I was with 9 people. 7 of us were shot. 7 of us were shot.
What do you think about visit Turkey again?
I would love to come back when it's a little safer. It's a good country. All the people are very good. And as I said, it's so unfortunate. Only the best people. I met these guys. He's with me the whole time.
Yeah.
The Four Seasons Hotel took such good care of me. They're with me the whole time.
I mean, where do you start? He's being unloaded out of a stretcher in front of everybody in an airport. He's able to stand up quite freely as if he's not injured. He's been pushed around on a wheelchair, again, as if he's uninjured. And he's given a ridiculous story as to how he was there for the new year, and now he's off, even though it's only, I think it was only like 2 days after. He gets asked a question about what happened in the club. What does he say? I don't want to talk about it. When he is talking, he's got the biggest smile on his face, and I mean, I'm not a psychiatrist or anything like that. I don't know human psychology, but the fact is every time he's smiling, he is lying. Every time he's talking, he's shaking his head. So he is subliminally saying, no, this didn't happen, but he's talking as if it did, and that's the ridiculous nature of it all. I know you guys have seen this footage before, but for the ones who haven't, look at this, and can this be considered legitimate? I mean, he's telling a story as to how he was there with 9 other people and 7 of them have been shot, but he's showing no concern for them whatsoever. What's he actually doing? He's getting on a plane back to America. It's just crazy. And the thing is that we buy it every single time, no matter how ridiculous it is. I mean, look at this. He's putting up peace signs and waving, but who's he waving to? The cameras, because it's certainly not his friends, because they're still in hospital. Now, I know there's a lot more information about Jacob Rack and sort of his background and what his actual involvement might have been in this, but remember that I'm trying to get across to the average person that when these things happen, just look at the way these play out, and if you've just seen this piece of footage just on its own without any prior knowledge, a normal person should be able to call shenanigans on this guy. So I know most of you have seen the Jacob Rack stuff before, but I hope that the stuff at the beginning has added a bit of insight, especially if you're new to all this, because it's not limited to this one event. They do have staging areas where the cameras are prepped and ready. So thanks again for watching. I'll get on to my next video soon. Bye bye.